Central here on TV3, also live on DSTV, channel 279, streaming across the world on TV3 Ghana, where you can join us with your thoughts and comments. I'm Godwin Asideba. And
I am Judith Brown. Coming up this afternoon.
In the headlines, Ghana Health Service on high alert to detect and deal with any possible spread of acute respiratory virus infections. We'll tell you more.
Also this afternoon, fire outbreak still a major concern as dry spell continues. We'll bring you an update from the fire incidents close to the Akosombo Dam and the latest one from the Ashanti region.
On an interesting note, much later, we have a special feature for you looking at the inscriptions on commercial vehicle and what it means for owners. We have details of these and more stories coming your way in the next hour if you stay with us.
Well, on our first story, the Ghana Health Service is on high alert over the possible outbreak of acute respiratory virus infections, particularly those caused by the human metapneumovirus. The service says that it is hoping to detect early and respond to any surge in respiratory pathogens in line with the WHO recommendations. Let's walk you through what the service has been saying in what it says is this acute respiratory virus infection. The Ghana Health Service says that it has noted reports of outbreaks in the Northern Hemisphere due to acute respiratory virus infections, particularly those caused by the human metapneumovirus in China since the late December 2024. The virus is not a new one, unlike the case with COVID-19. It also says that the acute respiratory infections are usually seasonal, with an increased number of cases in those areas during the winter period, as is currently the case. Well, the Ghana Health Service also says that in collaboration with other agencies and partners, it is implementing some measures to ensure that it is well positioned to detect early and respond to any surge in respiratory pathogens in line with the WHO recommendations. Well, let's now speak to Professor Humphrey. He is an associate professor and head of Department of Virology at Ngugi Memorial Institute for Medical Research. Good afternoon, sir. Now, should we be concerned about this latest threat, particularly coming from China?
Good afternoon. Yes, we should not really be concerned or too concerned about it because, like you introduced rightly, it's a respiratory virus, which is not new. I mean, the difference between this and the COVID-19 or the SARS-CoV-2 that causes COVID-19 was that the latter was a new virus. A new virus, which means that the body has not built any immunity to it. So when you get it, you don't know what is going to happen. But this human metapneumovirus has been with us since the year 2001, and certainly is quite stable, a virus, and also quite a number of people have built immunity to it, even though there's no antiviral medication for it. It is self-limiting. In other words, if you get it and your immune status is quite competent, it has to resolve by itself after some few days. With fluids and a lot of rest, you'll be okay. So yes, we should be concerned because we have a high number of it in some other country. But we shouldn't also be so concerned because it is not a very fatal virus. In other words, it doesn't cause fatal disease.
Well, Doc, what measures must be put in place, both in the short and long term, to ensure that they don't get into the country?
Yes, so the measures goes for all respiratory infections, like what we're doing or what we used to call the protocols that we set it up during the COVID-19, the height of the COVID-19. Basically, because it's respiratory, we talk about cough etiquette. It comes with cough, it comes with what do you call it? You have nasal congestion, shortness of breath, fever. So make sure that you wash your hands frequently with soap under running water. If possible, have some face masks to wear if you know that you are coughing. Make sure that you don't put your fingers into your nostrils from time to time or at the corner of your eyes. Basically, those protocols that we set up during the COVID-19 should be observed. I mean, including personal hygiene. It's something that we should be doing so that we minimize the occurrences of this within the population.
Prof, you have been speaking about measures to prevent the disease, but we're asking what measures can be put in place to ensure that this disease does not get into the country, Ghana.
Yeah, but it's difficult to kind of stop respiratory infections from getting into the country. I mean, so long as we have international travel, these things can always come around because people sit in airplanes and they move from one country to the other. Unless we decide to stop people from coming in. And as we indicated earlier, this, yes, we should be concerned, but it is not something that is totally new. And also, we have to say that the country is quite ready to either detect and to deal with cases like that because we have a very potent system in place that runs a respiratory kind of surveillance system. So if anything like that comes in, I think the system will pick it early. And once it's picked up, management and all that will come into play and it will be handled very quite well. So I don't think we should worry so much of how this is going to get into the country. So long as we have international travel or global movement around, these things will come in. But what we should do is to be like what Ghana Health Service has just done, activate the system, make sure that when it comes in, because the system is quite active, it will pick it. And if it is picked it early, certainly the other remedial measures that we have in place will be executed, and nothing like spreading or getting a lot of cases will come into the country.
Right, many thanks for your time. Professor Kofi Humphrey is an associate professor and head of Department of Virology at Nugochi. But we're going to give you a bit more about this particular virus infection. And let's talk about its prevention and what should you do to prevent this viral infection. You must practice good respiratory etiquette, cover your mouth and nose when you cough or sneeze. And you heard Professor saying that as well. Proper hand hygiene, avoid touching eyes, mouth and nose, wearing face masks when necessary, early reporting to health facilities when symptoms develop, and make sure you do more eating of fruits and vegetables to prevent this particular viral disease.
Metapneumovirus, indeed, they always come with heavy names. But away from that, Chairman of the Appointments Committee has not taken kindly to minority comments that claim he was biased against the side during vetting of Minister-designate Bernard Ahiafo, speaking for the first time since the disorderly vetting process, said the minority side did not adhere to pre-setting agreements. He was on a soon-to-air episode of Hot Issues with Kemi Amano.
Take a very great exception to that in the sense that I have accommodated them and I've overindulged them. Going forward, I don't know how they are going to describe me. I never gagged them. For me, when you agree at a pre-sitting meeting or at a meeting that this is what you are going to do, you must go by it. But I went to the extent of bending the ground rules that we have agreed upon to even accommodate certain things that I ought not to have accommodated. Yet, they describe me to be unfair to them. Well, posterity will be the judge.
What are the things that were not supposed to happen that happened?
That one has to do with the number of people I should give the opportunity to ask questions. 2, there should be some limit on the number of questions or the time frame within which the minority leader is supposed to ask questions, or the leadership of the committee is supposed to ask questions. It looks like the very first experience he had unlimited period, and he was, for me, excessive in the circumstances.
The full episode of this interview airs on Sunday at 2 p.m., so do make time to tune in.
Now on to some more stories. A member of the Operation Recover All Loot Oral team and private legal practitioner Martin Pebu has defended the legality of the team. There have been concerns, especially from members of the opposition New Patriotic Party NPP, regarding the legal basis of oral. But speaking on key points, lawyer Pebu and South Dai MP Nelson Roxon Dafiamepo defended the legal basis of the oral team's work. Meanwhile, former government spokesperson on governance and security at the presidency, Dr. Palgrave Boachidankwa, says the MPP is not against accountability, but that the law must be followed.
In the business of inviting suspects, no.
Okay.
The mandate is that citizens, let's do about 2 minutes on this. Let's read the law. The mandate, you see, JM said people were inundating him with cases of suspected corruption, state capture, etc. Okay. So in his wisdom, he thought that he should set up a committee ahead to begin to receive this. Because the president, even you look at your life as a human being from morning to evening, how much are you able to accomplish? Then you're putting this to JM, like sending all that to him when he's about to take office. So it was obvious that he couldn't do anything. So he said, let me set up a committee so that channel all the complaints and etc. to those people. And that is our law. Our law allows it. I can tell you on authority that some of the exposés you see in the media is through them. They receive complaints and then they get investigators to investigate. And those are the matters, some of the corruption-related exposés you see in Ghana.
The office of the president, then the district chief executive. Even DCs are mandated in law for persons who believe that a state property has been captured, has been misappropriated, has been converted, to receive complaints. And we sit here and say that a committee properly established by His Excellency the President himself, that I'm being inundated with this information, and I think that under law I'm supposed to receive the information, but let me put a group of people together, including a sitting member of parliament, who is also enjoining the law, to as it were receive the complaint suo motu.
Yes.
And then we wake up and say that it is unconstitutional, it is illegal, it is all that. I think those, including my roommates who are making these complaints, they fell into an error of legal reasoning.
If we ask the question about the legality of oral, is right. Because at the time when you set up the oral committee, you were president-elect. Now you've been sworn in, you have the mandate of the Ghanaian people. Are you wanting to give oral any constitutional backing? Are you wanting to give oral the authority that they so need? And to state that there is no way the New Patriotic Party or even personally we are against accountability. There is no way that people should abuse office. There is no way that people should capture state properties. There is no way that we should all encourage that. And so the motive of it is not a problem. But we are asking the key questions that procedurally, you set up an oral committee when you are president-elect. You are president now. Would you want to use your presidency and your executive powers to recommit oral on some mandates that you want them to do, or you just want to observe them as they do what they do? These are clear questions that we are asking.
The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Sumana Bagbain, has described the 8th Parliament as the best ever, contrary to other opinions. According to the Speaker, the hung nature of the House made it possible for members to check abuses of power and the public purse by the executive.
Many expected a lot from the 8th Parliament due to its hung nature. After 4 years, some, including MPs, said they were disappointed. But the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, says in other jurisdictions, hung parliaments do not last, describing Ghana's, which travels the 4 years, as the best ever.
All over the world, if you read the history of UK, there are a number of hung parliaments that have lasted not more than 2 years. And recently, that was what happened to them. They were changing the prime ministers. They were hung parliaments. We were fortunate to last the whole term of 4 years. Yet, the ignoramus in the country say that that was the worst parliament they ever experienced. But this is one of the best parliaments we ever experienced. Because we are able to now change the score for our oversight. We always marked the lowest in West Africa when we're dealing with oversight. When we are dealing with passing laws, because of mob action, you just go in, and it's passed. This one, we took our time and we're able to hold the executive on many issues to account.
Speaking to MPs' research assistants in his office, the Speaker said he and the MPs swore oaths to protect and defend the Constitution and would exist to do just that.
There's no other institution mightier than Parliament in a democracy. Not even the executive. I draw your attention to it by even looking at our constitutional provisions, by saying that the members of Parliament, with 2/3 of their votes, they can remove a president. In the case of a speaker, 3/4. It was more difficult to remove the speaker than the president. It's in the Constitution, 1992 Constitution. And when I raise such things, our friends in the media will go and put it that, oh, the president, the speaker is planning a coup. He says he's more powerful than the president. And so the first reaction of the president, hey, let's look at his security and other things. And my soldiers became a casualty.
The research assistants presented a citation to the Speaker for his exemplary style of leadership and accomplishment, which they say is an inspiration to them. The Speaker was thankful for the gesture and urged them to be hard-working, non-partisan, and to live above reproach.
Another news, personnel of the Ghana National Fire Service have brought under control a fire which has engulfed a mountain meters away from the Akosobo Dam. Let's touch base with ADO1 Alex Kingnate. He is a member of the Public Relations Unit at the Ghana National Fire Service. Good afternoon, sir. You say that your personnel have tackled the fire?
Yes, so good afternoon to yourself and to your viewers. As at 1 a.m., we had confidently extinguished the fire totally. In the process, being able to prevent any casualty or any damage to properties. As it stands now, we are not leaving it at that. We've positioned 2 fire tenders and over 10 crew at the area, including our regional commander, ACFO Ifun, is there with the team, making sure that there's no room for reignition. So as I speak to you, as at 1 a.m., confidently the fire is out and it's out of danger.
Well, I mean, we seem to be recording a lot of fire outbreaks in different parts of the country, especially in the markets. We've seen Kantamonto, we've seen one in Kumasi and the others. What really is the plan of the National Fire Service?
Well, as a service, we've not been sitting idle. We've had proactive measures put in place. Trust me, but for our proactive measures that we had put in place even before December, we would have recorded much more fires than we are recording right now. We've been committed, and so what we've done is that we've increased our surveillance, we've increased our patrols to volatile areas. We've heightened our fire, our bushfire education, our market fire education. We've stepped it up a notch higher to be able to get people to understand and appreciate the dangers of fire. The problem has always been the reception of people towards the message of fire safety, which has been a troubling situation. People never seem to think or have the situation of fires in mind until fires happen. And so, well, as a service, we are doing our part, but it's a two-way street. So until we do our part, but until the people who are affected also do their part by adhering to fire safety protocol, that we churn out and receiving our messages in good faith. Unfortunately, we'll be recording some fires as we speak, but then we are still committed and we're hoping that most of these measures that we are putting in place will yield results.
And finally, before you go, I mean, as I said earlier, we've recorded one too many fire incidents. We are probably still in the Harmattan period. But really, have you been able to ascertain what is causing these fires, especially this recent one on the mountain in Akosombo?
So I would still attribute it to non-adherence by people. People not adhering to the fire safety teachings, or messages that we churn out. Because if people do listen, you'd realize that if it comes to bushfires, for instance, some of the things that could start a bushfire could be indiscriminate burning in the bushes as a result of probably a person trying to burn the bush to get some bush meat, or hunters trying to clear, or farmers trying to clear the farm areas to be able to start farming. We've advised them continuously that this period is not a period to start setting fires in your bushes for whatever reason there is, but people do not adhere. As a service, as proactive as we are, we've again trained fire volunteers in areas like this, so that in areas where we don't have much personnel there, these fire volunteers will be equipped with the knowledge to be able to carry out the duty. Again, there should be a clarion call for more resources of the Ghana National Fire Service.
Right.
We need a lot of fire tenders, we need utility vehicles, we need rapid intervention vehicles. With the fire at Akosombo, for instance, one of the obstacles that we faced was inaccessibility to where the fire had started. So we had to find alternative ways to be able to cut the fire, contain the fire, make sure that it doesn't spread to the residential areas and to the adjoining dam. So we are hoping that as time goes on, more resources will be channeled towards the Ghana National Fire Service, so that apart, we'll be able to get more vehicles to be able to go to hinterlands to preach the gospel of fire safety to people over there.
Right, ADO1 Alex Kinate is a member of the PR unit of the Ghana National Fire Service. He's been speaking to us about, the fire outbreak in Akosombo on a mountain. But of course, there are more fire outbreaks that we're recording in the country. Godwin.
A rather devastating one in the Ashanti regional capital, where a fire outbreak has displaced dozens of residents in Nimamok, a slum in the Asokore-Mampo municipality of the Ashanti region. The fire is said to have destroyed over 50 wooden structures that served as homes for the residents. We now connect with my colleague Ibrahim Abubakar, who has been following up on this fire outbreak. Ibrahim Abubakar, thank you so much for your time. I can clearly see some children and women behind you, clearly down in the dams due to the situation. Can you run us through what the situation looks like now in the community?
Well, currently, they are trying to clear all the debris so that they will start rebuilding. In fact, even though they are waiting on authorities to support them and put back their structures, whilst awaiting for that support to come, they have started clearing all the debris here. In fact, yesterday the fire started around 4:30 thereabout, and before the fire service personnel arrived at the scene, almost all the about 50 structures have been raised down completely, and they couldn't take anything. Because it is wooden structures, and also currently looking at the weather pattern, the Harmattan, everything is kind of dried up. And when the fire started from one of the structures, it quickly spread to the over 50 structures here. And in the Ashanti region, unfortunately, between January 1, so this now we have recorded about 83 fire incidents, which is quite worrying. And this, according to the fire service, have even blamed not the fire per se, but their effort in fighting the fire because of inadequate resources. In fact, like they said, as Asokore-Mampo, they have a fire station, newly built one, as we speak, but they do not have a fire tender. So usually when fire incidents happen here, they have to make calls to other districts, so they'll be able to make their way here. And before they come, most of the properties have been raised down. In fact, we even spoke to some of the affected victims. Let's listen to what they've been telling us before we'll come back to what is actually happening right now.
Adibako I hire wo muku and say it just so has say next year friend fire service for some man. Answer na omuma na dey be sibia dey. Esieri. Ya be say your man penya ye di na siso. Wo be hwe say eye askore man for municipal assembly. Ye benya fire service for car or control Aswasi constituency. Eye askore man for municipality. Said the bear say Jan a so baby crana, ye betimi akoye moantem. E dan ya hye was say ko be 50. Japade ahye was say nye japade ketwa. Ya anko pin bibie no obi afa no was say. Ye bibia hye, ye bibia hye. Ye srem pen for say omuma ye moa. Ye srem mo.
No when you na omosi ye from him
Right, Ibrahim Abubakar, if you can briefly explain exactly what they have been telling you.
So basically what the first interview was saying is that yesterday they struggled before getting the fire service personnel to come in. By the time they came, the harm has already been caused. And they have, like I said, they have a fire station at Aspirant, just within the premises of the assembly, which is just some few meters from this place. But because they do not have a fire tender, they always struggle whenever there is a fire incident here. So they are pleading with authorities to bring a fire tender to that facility so that in an event of any fire outbreak, that can serve the entire Aspirant municipality.
Right, Ibrahim.
She was also saying before she came, she has lost everything apart from the uniform that she was currently wearing.
Right. Is it possible to have a quick interaction with them to get to know exactly how they're feeling? Because that's quite devastating to know.
Exactly. I have some of them here with me who will be speaking, who will be sharing. Enra Bonamua, DSC, Sena, affecting more than any day now, Marshall.
Pachomeka Twikakra. Any of the Bebre, I say, Bebre, Yantima Faki, Yampi, was the way a Janus to Abba form no. I know I think, as I say, and never to me room and Fabi Yampi. Aha, until any of the ultimate car back on you, no cram and ye. And younger, I say, Frigi, Bibia, TV, Bibia, never Bebre.
They say, I'm watching it, then more clear, more service, and more tremble.
Oh, yeah, she's here. Now, I be a more woman. Now, my boy, now, Kayatima, yes, yet me beyond that. I know I see no crown. A Bilmukra, or chair, up a thread to be a rain. Ada, a Bilmukra, or Mumma. They were a see Sano. The Uwanya Bibi, Kra, Quadan Krana, yet the amount.
Anankasan, and your first time na Eja, a Siwaha. A Siama, Mosiama, but Ushe the way SCC Diana access route na Bahana. Eddie, Edina, Eddie Jane Eba, because tell me, can your first time na Ebiasiwaha.
Okay, and we are a crime minimum say. Mostly no, Ebia, sir, meters no. A woman not watch it. And no, dear, me electricity mean to me can be premium a whole sir. But dear me, a crown, a woman not a torch. I know I mostly at Tama a jazz system.
So, Gordon, basically, what he has narrated yesterday, even some of them fortunately had to sleep because not all the structures have been destroyed by fire. As you can see behind me, the other structures that remain intact. So some of them have to perch there, but they are just trying to see whether they can put something back so that today they will have a place to lay their head. But like I even asked him, this is not the first time we are recording fire incidents here. It keeps reoccurring.
Right.
And he is also saying it may be because of their wiring and also intermittent power outages here that happens, and it leads to these fires.
Right, Ibrahim, quickly before you go, has any authority paid attention to their situation?
Well, for now, not yet. Well, in the morning, we've seen that more officials coming here to take inventory and also see what they can do to help them later. But currently, they are also waiting on their member of parliament and also other well-meaning Ghanaians to assist them maybe in terms of clothes and other things, so that at least you can clearly see that a lot of kids are here also trying to help their parents. They've lost everything, even something to wear. So that is what they are calling for support, so that beginning today, life will return to normalcy for them to be able to continue with the activities going forward. But for now, they will be able to patch with their friends, with their colleagues, whilst trying to rebuild the structure, so that they also have a place to lay their heads.
Outbreak in the Ashanti region in just 2 weeks alone. Ibrahim Abubakar, thank you so much for bringing us to speed with that rather sad news in Nimamok. We are going for a quick break and we'll be back shortly. Stay with us.
One upgrade is nice, but a double upgrade is amazing. And that's how we do it. Upgrade today to get even more with Step Up. If you're on GoTV Max and upgrade to GoTV Super, you'll get way more with GoTV Super Plus.
That's so cool!
Get big value. Get big entertainment.
Very good.
Perfect! Upgrade and get even more with GoTV.
Man.
GoTV. Love it.
Eti Dr. Like ye ba betna se na ya share and some season 1 e ba ye na ye di ho nkomo Vanessa wa
obi a onu obi a wa wasa de na ba kumase ya na wasa be jan wo na wasa ko ware
utim se no ho e pa
na wo mi wa ha nyinse na nyinse
pa che se
obi a ba ye wo bo na mane o ka se ye ne dia no afi de o se nye ne dia and na fe so Richard nso e wa ha
drug no enye ede ba eseniama life.
What call rehabilitation? They could see you know. Richard Ebabitri.
Only one person now call rehab. One hugging, one fafon and free. Here scat, here way. Though Namu di bia brand.
This is Hot Issues, your passport to the most compelling conversations of our time. We go one-on-one with the movers and shakers, the thought leaders, and the game changers. We ask the questions that matter, and we don't back down.
Tonight on Hot Issues, I sit with the man at the Center of Corruption Investigations.
Join me on Hot Issues here on TV3.
Hot Issues shows Sundays at 2 p.m. on TV3. TV3, first in news.
The winner of Talented Kids, Season 15.
The wait is finally over. Talented Kids Season 16 is back and it is set to be the most thrilling season. Prepare to be amazed by the mesmerizing performances that will captivate audiences of all ages. We are calling on all institutions, parents, and individuals who believe in the extraordinary talent of children aged 6 to 12. Our audition train will make its first stop in Kumasi on the 6th of February at the McLean Hotel. Then, we'll make its last stop in Accra on the 8th of February at the TV3 premises. Talented kids, free to play.
Welcome back. You're still watching Weekend Central. Let's do some stories still on fires because life is gradually returning to the Techiman Central Market after the devastating fire that ravaged the market last Sunday, causing traders to lose goods worth millions of cedis. The traders have already started rebuilding new structures to support their businesses. Our Bono East regional correspondent Belinda Tete has filed this report. Well, we'll bring you that story much shortly in this same bulletin. Of course, this is about another fire incident that happened in the Bono East region. And of course, we know that they're gradually starting to rebuild that market. Let's now listen.
Life has gradually started returning to the Techiman Central Market after the huge inferno, which destroyed close to 700 stores or wooden structures, and also goods worth millions of Ghana cedis. Gradually, the market women have started rebuilding their own structures to aid them in their businesses. Let's speak to some traders to see how they are coping after the inferno and how they are able to raise money to build the structures.
Say a bossy akra mo for swabo, idia, a motana brenya, I said, and some near quantity. What to one now customers a journey jail. So why near what I is on person moji assassinity. Yama memoana. Or more mapro moa Sikaka Crow Maniano. And no modi or Majuma.
This year, Yamana Yabobono, and you'll be a Yamaye. Who chance to be by your hand Munana Yedije. Yen binu kura ni kunu enu ana edehwe nkwala suku nkwala enu ho na ye didi nti ye hu tama wa be ya bebo enu ye suro susu se ebia on be bebo no mo si fasika bra satem so mi sika obe ye den obe ba beje na odi atinam sa no nyafie na obe kwa kotena se na obe ye wo no wo mma mo sa be koma no aha nti na aja na eso ye fo so ya aja kakra ewo ho na ye de bebo na ye tinam sa na hwe de yankopon be ye de ebe ye.
They are further pleading with the government to come to their aid.
Dear Yamwa, Muboy and Kayape. Say, we are Lady Shayama. The answer I say, Better, Bensa, Bemba, and Scum Betram was each year. Ebby and Nibi. Minibia, Midiba, a Japa, Senibi. Tino be a the Yaboka cry after I say, Ebe Benyaka cry, Alala, Amayama, Asho Musku, and ye puna for her, or more moon Nukunumu. Omo mu school kwala wa ha bahu nti sana asamna kwa kosie yesra mu aya ni due mai pa mu achew benyo fora mombo aye nyasare asame ya mobo ya di amia pa miere ya dibi.
Here at the Techiman Market, the traders have decided to pick up their pieces and start rebuilding their structures to get back into business. Their reason is that they fear that if government should rebuild the market for them, the price to which it might be given to them, they cannot afford. So they have decided, with a little help from outsiders, they have decided to rebuild their own structures and start selling at their joints again. Belinda Tete, TV3 News, Bono East Region, Techiman.
Let's now head to the northern part of the country where vetting for 210 aspirants for 16 assemblies in the northern region has commenced at the Northern Regional Coordinating Council. The vetting process is expected to last from Saturday, January 18 to Tuesday, January 21, 2025. My colleague Christopher Mwako is monitoring the situation from the Northern Regional Coordinating Council in Tamale and joins us live on Zoom for details on that. Chris, thank you so much for your time. Tell us, how has the process been so far?
Yes, so Godwin, I must say that the process has been smooth since start of the vetting, and as we speak, over 10 of the aspirants have been vetted from the Pandai constituency. Today, 4 constituencies are going to be vetted. We have Pandai, Bimbila, Karaga, and Gushegu. In all, 53 aspirants are expected to be vetted today. Remember that we reported earlier that 206 of them were supposed to be vetted, but today the vetting committee told us that the number has shot up to 210. Let's take a listen to the regional chairman of the party telling us the numbers that are expected to be vested today.
The process to get the DC for Pandai does not end here. We have interested groups that they will also be contacted. Chiefs are there, opinion leaders are there, big party wings from the constituency will be consulted, the former MP will be consulted, and all those who matter in the constituency. So they will all put in their advice. This is very necessary because we always want to strike the balance so that too much power will not be concentrated, let's say, in the east to the neglect of the west or the north and then the south in the constituency. So basically, this is what we are doing.
Right, Chris, what have the aspirants been telling you about the process?
So, saying that the process some of them have been constituency executives before, and others are now taking part in any political vetting. And so they are saying that the process has been smooth so far. The only questions they ask them has to do with their contribution to the party and the fact that they need to also come together should one of them be given the opportunity. They have also been expressing their views that they are going to work together with whoever that is appointed because they are one party and one family, and all they are looking for is the development of their various assemblies. Let's take a listen to what some of them have been telling me.
Shows how the party is open and how we all accept ourselves that we're all qualified to hold this position. So I've been there for almost 3 terms now as a constituency secretary, and I believe that one of my aim that I carried when I came as a secretary was to bring everybody on board. So if a chance is given to me as a district chief executive, my aim is to make sure that all dissatisfied members that left the party in any way, and all members that may be the 16 aspirants that are part of this vetting process, I think we'll hold a committee and see the way forward. Whatever they were also bringing on board, if they're given opportunity as a district chief executive, I think we'll call them, hold an engagement with them, and share ideas and see how we can build this party together.
I'm Gregory Anejadon. I'm one of the 17 aspirants yearning to be appointed as the DC for Pandai. And when you look among the 17, we are all qualified for the position. So any one of us given the opportunity, I'm sure the person is coming to serve very well with a vision of peace leading in all the doing of the person whom at the end will be appointed to be the district chief executive, because without peace there will never be a development. So when you look at these energetic men who show interest of becoming the district chief executive, I believe that any one of us given the opportunity would definitely live up to expectation.
My name is Honorable Haruna Karim from Pandai District, one of the aspirants for the DCC position. I think today is the day for our vetting. Today we determine the 3 people that the region is going to select to be sent to the national to pick one of us for the DC of Pandai. I think as an assembly member of the district who has been in the system for 3 good terms now up to date, and one of the oldest assembly members now at the district, and also the election director for Panda NDC. Expectation is that at the end of today, definitely Panda is going to win because we are all one under the same umbrella.
Finally, before you go, the number of aspirants at the close of filing was 206. Why has the number increased?
So, Godwin, we tried finding out from the regional executives why the number has increased from 206 to 210. All they told us was that they are vetting 210. In fact, the chairman actually told me that he did not issue any release. In fact, that is the acting chairman, because the chairman has been nominated nominated as the Northern Regional Minister. So the acting chairman now told me that he never issued any release, and so he does not owe us any explanation of how the numbers shot up to 210. But all we do know is that as it stands now, 210 aspirants are contesting for 16 MMDC positions.
Right. Thank you so much for your time. Christopher Mwako is our Northern Regional Correspondent.
Let's now focus on the Western region, specifically to the Shama municipality, where some youth in the municipality are expressing growing concern of ongoing neglect of the Shama Youth Center. Now, the youth center built to support youth development has been left to rot over the past decade with no signs of renovation. Our Western Regional Correspondent Stephen Kujo has joined us to help understand these issues. Stephen, good afternoon. Now, what is the reason behind the youth center not being used for a decade now?
Two reasons have been given for the project being left abandoned. One being the location where the project was sited, and also absence of water supply to the facility. But the youth are not taking any of these two reasons, as they are saying that now if you visit the youth center, you can see that there are new development or new settlement that are springing up around the youth center. So getting water supply to the youth center will not be a difficult task to do. If you pay a visit to the youth center, you can see it is not a pleasing sight for the soil. As you can see that it's quite painful that you see a building that we use taxpayers' money to build has been left abandoned, with the half of the roof being ripped off and the pillars developing cracks. I've been speaking, the assembly member for the community, or whose community the building is sited, has been mourning that all effort that he has been embarking to get funding to renovate the project by the assembly has been fruited. He has been sharing his pain to me.
I've interacted with the district director, and I learned it was incorporated in their medium-term plan for last year, and so they couldn't achieve it. So I'm still having some background talks with the district coordinator and the engineer. We've been here, we've done estimates on it. A former assembly member for TV3, Honorable Isaiah Mensah, also did a lot of movement on the renovation of this project, but still the assembly has turned an eye and a deaf ear to it.
Well, our Western Regional Correspondent Stephen Kujo has been bringing us details. Thank you so much for joining us. But there are more stories, Godwin.
A group calling itself the Coalition of Vter Youth Against the Sale of Government Lands has called on the Operation Recover All Loot Committee to extend its work to Ho. The group, at a press briefing in Ho, is alleging the illegal sale of several government lands to some known members of the opposition New Patriotic Party and other private individuals. Dr. Stanley Nelvis Glate is the lead person in charge of the coalition.
They've sold the land as if they are sharing Kele-Willy, and there is nothing left to talk about. Today, if the government wants to put up a structure, I tell you, there will be no land for us to put up any of these structures, because the MPP government has allowed its operatives, as if it was a commandment they got from Nana Akufo-Addo, that go into the regions and make all government lands your properties. Get down to NCA, just by the roadside, check the walls there. Get down to the GRA staff bungalow, see the land around that area. Where we are now is just behind the official bungalow of the regional deputy state attorney. They've sold that land, and they are putting story building on it. So the oral team must come. We are waiting for them in Ho here. The youth are.
You're still tuned in to Weekend Central here on TV3, also live on DSTV channel 279. Remember, we are streaming across the world on Facebook at TV3 Ghana, beg your pardon, where you can join us with your thoughts and comments. We are going for a quick commercial break again, and we'll be back shortly with more stories. Please do stay with us.
You say I the rush me martini now.
Eti Dr. Lucky eba betna se na ya share and some season 1 e ba ye na ye di ho nkomo Vanessa wa
obi a onu obi a wa sade na ba kumase ya na wasa beja no wo na wasa ko ware
utim se no ho aye fe papa
na wo mi wa ha nyinse na nyinse
pacha 7
obi a e ba ye wo bo na mane o ka se ye ne dia no afi de o se ye ne dia and na face Richard and so e wa ha
drug no enye ede ba eseniama
oh
it's life
for rehabilitation dey ko see no Richard e ba be chiri
only one person na rehab about one harding one fafo na mfre ni hia ska ni hia we do na mu di bibia brand
Upgrade is nice, but a double upgrade is amazing. And that's how we do it. Upgrade today to get even more with Step Up. If you're on GoTV Max and upgrade to GoTV Super, you'll get way more with GoTV Super Plus.
It's so cool!
Get big value. Get big entertainment.
Very good.
Perfect! Upgrade and get even more with GoTV.
Yeah.
GoTV. Love it.
This is the show that brings finality to all the critical issues. It is the stage where all the facts are checked, issues thoroughly interrogated, opinions shaped, and debates settled. But over here, we do more than just talk. We resolve problems. We hold those in power accountable. We address all the key happenings in society, from politics to health to education to everything you deem important. And we will center the voice of the ordinary Ghanaian. This is the show that sets the agenda.
Agenda now shows on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. on TV3.
TV3, first in news.
The news that matters most is the news that hits closest to home.
When it breaks, we are there.
If it touches your family, your city, affects your expenditure, your decisions, as well as your safety, we've got it covered.
It's easy to just cover the news. What we are doing is different, creating a news experience that prepares you for anything. TV3 News, award-winning journalism, world-class quality, on TV and online, right at your doorstep. TV3, first in news.
Welcome back. Now, anytime you board a trotro in Ghana, have you ever taken a moment to read the stickers on the windows or the back of the bus? Well, they're not just decorations, but messages filled with humor, faith, and sometimes life lessons. So what do these stickers really mean, and why do they matter? Christabel Saxes-Trevor finds out.
In Ghana, public transport is not just about moving from one place to another. Besides serving as an affordable means of transportation, trotros have become a platform for carrying messages.
Trotros, the lifeblood of our public transport system here in Ghana, are adorned with stickers carrying everything from spiritual messages to cultural and societal commentaries. But have you ever stopped to think about whether these stickers have deeper meanings to them? Today, we'll uncover all that has to do with these stickers, from stories to motivations and cultural significance behind these stickers on the wheels.
For some commercial vehicle drivers, the inscriptions or stickers on their vehicles are more than just words. They are personal reflections, prayers, and sometimes even lessons for passengers.
I chose it because I am calm. The lion is a calm animal. Though strong, he knows when to display it.
Why come Kuama will be our task? And baby, I didn't have the airport.
The ma mature mechanic say soon. And maybe yet and Washama, maybe driver call Ashama.
The inscription of Cry Your Own Cry came from an experience I had while driving. I was arrested alongside others. Everyone tried to speak to the police, but when my time came, I approached him calmly with humility. My demeanor pleases him, and he let me go without trouble. When I returned, people asked what I had said to the officer. I told them the truth. Cry your own cry.
For others, there is no need for stickers or inscriptions on their vehicles.
It is not necessary for me to put a sticker on my car.
The sticker, not the car, no invitation can be fair.
When you put the sticker on your car at the beginning, it looks very nice. After taking it off for a while, it doesn't look good at all. It takes off the paint from the car.
Some passengers view these stickers as more than simple decorations.
My own is focus. You are working or you want to do something, don't hear aside. Focus about what you are doing. As soon as you have your plans to do something and you focus it, you reach where you are going.
The vendors who create these stickers play an important role, crafting messages that resonate deeply with society. Some vendors who prefer not to be on camera mention that they sometimes do not fully understand the meanings behind these inscriptions. A senior lecturer in the Sociology Department of the University of Ghana, Dr. Samson Obedapia, explained that these stickers serve as a mirror to the Ghanaian culture.
So most of these inscriptions are a testament or, a description of people's way of life or situations they find themselves in, and also in terms of the peculiarity of conditions that, cut across every day. So it's also based on the nature of the car. So you can see that some of the old cars have inscriptions that are particularly unique to them, one day, show boy, etc. The new cars also have certain peculiar inscriptions.
From humor to advice, these stickers are more than just words on wheels. They offer a window into our culture, give voice to the drivers, and sometimes provide inspiration to passengers. So the next time you board a trotro, take a moment to read the inscription or stickers on them. It might just carry a deeper meaning than you think and give you inspiration you need. Christabel Success Trevor, TV3 News, Accra.
Quite a fantastic story, I should say. really engaging as well.
Yeah.
But can you give us any line at all that actually got your attention while you were in your car?
I would say got my attention, but interesting ones. Some say boys are bread, some say boys kasa. What have you seen though?
I think In God We Trust.
In God We Trust, yes.
Psalm 23.
Oh, Psalm 23. It's always there.
Nipa or plans na sikasem. Right. That's quite an interesting story again, I should say. I'm sure it will be uploaded on all our social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, on an X as well, at TV3 Ghana. Please do make sure to watch it and watch other stories as well. Many thanks, and thank you for making us a part of your time this afternoon. My name is Godwin Asideva.
And my name is Judith Brown. Make sure you join us once again, 12 p.m. tomorrow for the news.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of our programming.
Sure.
See you.